Well, after months of waiting, the 2012 Tennessee Tech football season is finally underway. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Watson Brown Show, presented by IWC Cash and Carry. Alongside Tennessee Tech head coach Watson Brown, I'm your host, Buddy Pearson, and we're so glad to be coming to you again for another season. Coach, it's just good to be talking football again.
Buddy, you don't look one day older.
Well, I appreciate that.
I think I might look a little day older, but we coach in dog years as coaches. So
yeah, so you're getting up there.
I'm in my 40th. I'm 62, so that means I'm about 142 at this point right now. But enjoying it. Glad to be back with you again. Seems like it's yesterday. We just did the Central Arkansas game, and we're back at it again.
Well, after wrapping up the 2011 Ohio Valley Conference regular season championship, the Golden Eagles did host a playoff game, and they look like they picked up where they left off. Coach, you come into the season, you beat a good Hampton team 41-31, and Coach, I thought you looked pretty good.
Really a good first half, and we needed it because after the game was over, I told my coaches, I don't want to play these guys again. We'll wait till next year to try to line up to do it again. But it's a good team, and caught them early, got them down, made a lot of big plays, and let them back in the game a little bit in the third quarter with some kicking game errors a little bit, but very proud of our kids for the effort, number one, that they played with, and then the poise in the third quarter because we could have lost control of that thing pretty quick, and to hang on and gain control again late in the third quarter. Buddy, I was proud of that.
In the last couple of years, you've opened up with some big teams. You went to Arkansas. Last year, went to Iowa. This year, you come home. You open up the home portion of the season against a good Hampton team, not a Lane College, not a Bearville College, certainly a formidable foe.
I like that. We played Gardner-Webb a few years back, and I like those openers like that. Sometimes it's just not in Mark and I's hands. I mean, we just have to do what the schedule allows. But I think the toughest one I remember was that Arkansas TCU back-to-back.
That was a pretty tough stretch.
That one was interesting. I remember we said, well, we're playing Arkansas to get ready for TCU. But Hampton is a very strong opponent, and the thing I like about that is you kind of know where you are quicker. You're not playing a team much better than you or a team you're much better than, and you can really see where your weaknesses are, where maybe your strengths are, and maybe it'll make you better down the road quicker.
Well, the Golden Eagles certainly seem like they're in mid-season form in the first half as we check out the first half highlights presented by TTUsports.com. And, Coach, it was good to open up at home. I'm sure the Golden Eagles were fired up as they came out into Tucker Stadium and a great crowd on hand.
A great crowd, and the crowd was into it early, and I thought that made a big difference. Right out the gate, Hampton was a little bit nervous when we started, and we took the first drive of the game right down the field. That play I'm really excited about because when the quarterback scrambles, there's a play that you run immediately when he scrambles, and every single skill player did exactly what he's supposed to do when we scramble.
Yeah, that was a 34-yard touchdown pass from Trey Lamb to Zach Ziegler. Golden Eagles come right back. Lamb, 17-yard touchdown pass to Tillman, who makes a nice catch there. That's midway through the first quarter. Tech's up 14-0. Coach, lots been said about Derek Rogers, transfer from University of Tennessee. There's his first ever catch as a Golden Eagle.
Well, it was neat to get him. I think he played 8 plays in the game, and we taught him 5 pass routes. I think we ran all 5 of them during those 8 plays.
Golden Eagles running up the score in the first quarter. Adam Urbano on a 4-yard run. That extends Tech's lead 21-0. And, Coach, when he gets on the outside, nobody's going to catch him.
No, Adam can really run, and he has a very quick burst, and he can get around the corner on you fast. And he had a great night. It was the best game I think he's played since he's been at Tennessee Tech.
Urbano, 25 rushing attempts, 158 yards and a touchdown. Hampton gets on the board. Blake Hayes, a 6-yard rushing touchdown that cuts Tech's lead to 14. But the Golden Eagles come back, and the connection, Lamb to Rogers. This one, 52 yards. Nice pitch and catch there by Lamb and Rogers.
And Trey, believe me, was going to throw it there. I don't think there was any doubt about that. And nice to get him off with a nice deep ball early and get him going. We'll try to use him a lot more this week. As we've told Rick, I mean, it's all off of how quickly he can learn our stuff. And that was a makeup on the sidelines, to be very honest. We left the front side of the pattern alone. I got Rick on the sideline and said, okay, you run a corner route, we'll throw it back to you.
Yeah, that
was during a timeout to get it to 31-7.
Zach Sharp kicks the field goal, and, of course, the pass there from Lamb to Derek Rogers. They set up the touchdown right before the end of the first half. Coach, you go into the locker room at halftime up 31-7. You've got all the momentum in the world and look probably one of the most impressive first halves I've seen out of the Golden Eagles in a while.
I was to say, buddy, I don't think we could play much better in the first half than we played, but then we come back out in the second half and get it taken to us a little bit, and had to respond at that point. And anytime you have something quick on you, just like happened returning the kickoff like that, it's going to be interesting to see how you kids do respond. That game got down to 7 points, and so I was very proud of the kids hanging on. I didn't think we came out flat. It was just that opening kickoff kind of set the tone for the second half, and we've got to do a better job on that, to say the least. But really a solid second half, and we put the game away in the fourth quarter. Yeah,
and the Pirates did make it a game early on as we check out the second half highlights brought to you by Miller Lite. Coach, not exactly the way you want to open up a second half. You come out, you kick off. Hampton's going to get the ball, but Jor Washington fumbles it in the end zone, and then he's off to the races. Just sort of a breakdown in coverage.
Well, he fumbled it 6 yards deep. I think we let up. I don't think that our players thought he was going to bring the ball out, and this kid had return kicks for touchdowns the year before. He knew he was a good player. Pulls a hamstring right here.
Wow.
And he didn't play the rest of the game. He was one of their better receivers, but that was nothing but us not staying into what we're doing. We go for a 4th down and 6 inches, and I've always believed you got to make 6 inches, and we don't. And we had a missed assignment on that play. One of our tackles didn't wedge down like he's supposed to, and the linebacker shot the gap. Great job by our defense holding that to 3 points right there. Very, very important play to do that.
After a fumbled snap on a punt, Hampton comes right back, and they scores from the 5-yard line. Jeremy Schwartz with a 1-yard run. That cuts Tech lead to 7, 31-24. But the Golden Eagles respond. Lamb to Ziegler again, a 9-yard touchdown pass. 38-24. Coach, good to see the team come back and respond.
Very good, and a beautiful execution by Trey and Zach right there. Just a beautiful play, and that was 3rd down and probably 7 or so, and so it was. We did not want to kick a field goal right there. We needed those 7 points.
Zach Sharp wraps up the scoring for Tennessee Tech with a 25-yard field goal. Back comes Hampton with under 3 minutes to go. They score on a 2-yard pass to Javaris Brown, 41-31. Coach, you know what they're going to do. You know that they're going to try an onside kick.
They executed this well. We practiced this a lot in Austin Talent. We put the best hands guys we got, most poised guys we got on our hands team, and we had to make a 1st down to run the clock out. We were able to do that, and I love that hitting the knee at
the V formation, the sweetest formation in football.
That's the sweetest, absolute formation in football. Hampton did not quit, buddy. We had our hands full the whole night.
Yeah. And so the Golden Eagles go on to win it 41-31. Coach, nice way to start the season. I'm sure there are a lot of positives that you can take from this game, and I'm sure there's also going to be a lot of things you can work on.
Yeah, there were a lot of negatives that we can work on. I love the locker room after the game because we weren't in there going crazy or whatever. I think the kids knew that we can still play better. They were very proud for the win. I think maybe in the past we'd have been all wild in there, but I think our kids understand what winning's all about, and I think they knew we can play better, and we'll see if we can improve this week.
And, you know, coming into this ball game, there was a lot said about Derrick Rogers and transferring from the University of Tennessee. Not a lot had been said about Hampton, and even though they started off slow, this was a good football team that you played.
Well, you saw those guys. They're pretty, and they can run, and they played hard. They're tough. We're very beat up from the game. I think they had a lot of people hurt, too, and it was a very physical football game all night long, all the way into the fourth quarter. Give them credit. That last drive they had was a nice drive. When they're down 17, they take it 80 yards and score. And we were a little bit bend but not break, which you should be late in a game.
Right.
I'd like to still see a little more killer instinct right there than we had, but at the same time, we want to win the game. We're not just trying to keep them out of the end zone right there. Eat the clock as it goes. It took 7 minutes for them to get down there. And then the onside kick, and we ran off, I think, 3 minutes after that. So just very proud of our guys, but we've got a lot to improve on, a lot to get better. Schedule gets North Greenville's very good, and then Oregon, and then SEMO and Murray. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. We better improve fast.
Well, there were a lot of OV teams in action over the weekend. Besides Tennessee Tech getting a win, there were some other OVC schools that got some big wins as well. As we take a look at the Ohio Valley Conference scoreboard, brought to you by OVC Digital Network. Perhaps some of the big games there. Central Michigan over Southeast Missouri. Southeast Missouri looked good throughout that contest. Eastern Illinois wins big over Southern Illinois. Another action around the OVC.
Yeah, both of those two teams played well. It's obvious. Impressed with those two scores.
Yeah, 2 money games. Eastern Kentucky taking on Purdue. No surprise there. And Florida State just wallops Murray State 69-3.
You start messing with those BCS boys,
Yeah.
there's a little difference in some of the other ones that some of the other guys were playing Saturday night.
Tennessee State, a winner over Florida A&M 17-14, and then Western Kentucky over Austin Peay. And maybe, Coach, perhaps the biggest win for the OVC in quite some time since Jacksonville State beat Ole Miss a couple of years ago. It was Martin beating Memphis 20-17. Jacksonville State a loser to Arkansas 49-24. But what's your thoughts on that Martin-Memphis game?
Well, both of those two games, Jacksonville State was up 14-7 in the second quarter and played with them pretty well all night. Memphis fumbled a punt with 17 seconds to go, and Martin recovered it with the score tied and kicked a field goal to win that game and played well. This is the best this league has been. It's going to be the best all year long. There's no doubt about that. I thought every team would have a better team this year over last year, and early in the season it's proven to be that.
Yeah, even though no conference games yet, you see Tennessee Tech, TSU, UT Martin, and Eastern Illinois all picking up wins in the opening weekend of the college football season. It's always good to see Tennessee Tech right there at the top of the OVC standings.
Well, two big wins, I think, in that. Well, 3 big wins. TSU's win over 1AA or FCS opponent. Our win over Hampton gives you that FCS win that you need, and then Eastern Illinois beating Southern Illinois. All 3 of us got an FCS win, and you've got to get to 6 to have any chance to get to the playoffs. So that's why the Hampton game was so big to us.
Yep. Well, we got a whole lot more to talk about. Stick around. We got more with Tennessee Tech head coach Watson Brown coming up in just a minute. Welcome back to the Watson Brown Show. You know, we've got a lot of new segments for our viewers this season, starting with a Golden Eagle player profile. And this week's spotlight is offensive lineman Justin Ivory. This segment brought to you by TTU Athletics Association. Let's take a look. They've done a really good job.
My name is Justin Ivory. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. I play right guard. My dad got me started playing football when I was 5, and I quit the first day. Then I came back out the next week and started playing all over again. I played wide receiver when I was 5. Then I started getting real big. Then it just left me at D-tackle and D-line. Yeah, 5th grade, I was bigger than all the kids. Like, we had to go in, like, weigh and stuff. And I was like, man, like, y'all need to catch up or something. Like, I'm tired of being here. I get the motivation to think about my mother back at home. She's sick right now. I just always think, like, how she always pushed through. Like, when I was younger, she helped me. Then I was starting me to grow up and start helping her. My head coach back in high school, Buddy Anderson, he has the most influence on me. When I was a freshman, I was like over 400 pounds, and like he made me run like every day. He told me, like, Justin, you're gonna be like one of the greatest athletes I've ever seen if you work hard at it. And I just kept believing in him, and got me here. The best advice is keep pushing through everything. Everybody's when your team's hurting. You got people out there looking at you, representing. You got little kids saying, like, if he can break down, I can break down too. But if they say if he keeps pushing, I know I can keep pushing myself. I mean, to play at Tech is a great thing. Like, it's like I like how they say the pride around, like, take pride and stuff. Like, take pride in yourself. That's what Coach Scott tells us all the time. And like playing with a great coach Watson Brown, who's been everywhere, and all these great people around here. I mean, it just means family to me around here, really. Probably the one moment I'll never forget is us winning OVC at the Austin Peay game when I'm standing like next to 2 of my good friends, and I'm looking at the scoreboard, and I just said, we just won OVC our first year. I hope we can do it again next year. I'm Justin Ivory.
And coach at 6'6", 340 pounds. He's a pretty big boy.
Yeah, and the wide receiver piece got my attention.
Have you thought about trying him at wide receiver?
No. You did see him run when you took off there. We might run a little delay something to him. I don't know. He'd be a big target. I think we could get him the ball. Trade me throwing that thing up in the air. But he's a great kid, and we're very proud to have him at Tennessee Tech. The thing that I heard in there that is absolutely true is his high school coach had a major influence on him, and Justin has not had it easy. loves his mother, does anything he can for his mother in every way he can. And he came to us a first-class young man, so we're glad to have him here.
Another new feature this season is an inside look into Golden Eagle football. This week we check in with strength and conditioning coach Chip Pugh at the new Athletic Performance Center. This segment brought to you by Midstate Sports Medicine.
All right, we're standing in our 20,000 square foot strength conditioning center at Tennessee Tech University. We call this the Athletic Performance Center. And it's 20,000 square feet, meaning that the weight room in here, our strength center, is 10,000 square feet. Our indoor practice center, which we use for speed, agility, and conditioning, and footwork and athletic movement, is also 10,000 square feet. And that makes it 20,000, which makes it one of the biggest strength conditioning centers in the country. But as you can see, it's outfitted with 22 platforms made by Legend Fitness. And Legend Fitness custom made every one of these racks for us and our style of training. So a few features here at each rack that we have. The rack itself is bolted into the ground. As you can see, you can walk right through it. There's no bars on the ground in your way, things you got to step over, anything like that, as well as the platform space is that way too. This room features the Everlast flooring, which is a tile where each one of these tiles is all the way around the whole room in this 10,000 square feet. And so it's the same surface as you leave the platform, but it's a perfect surface to power clean on and move around, and you've got all that open space without tripping over anything. And we use a lot of CrossFit methods in our training. We'll mix a lot of our movements, and so we can go right to another movement within the same platform, utilizing more space. More athletes can work out at the same time doing all this stuff. And essentially, we can train the entire football team at once because of that, as well as when we have other Olympic sports, we can train multiple sports at one time because of that feature of this room. So after every single workout, every athlete in here can have their fill of milk, whole milk and chocolate milk. The whole milk provides the fat you need, the chocolate milk provides the sugar you need, and both have the protein you need. And so as you can see, we can do anything and everything in this space, and that's why it makes it the best thing for us.
What a nice facility. And Coach, one of the things I saw this year is the strength and physicality of the team against Hampton. It looks like this is really making a difference on your football team.
It is. We've not been in it a little over a year, I guess, year and a half, but I can tell a big difference already. Buddy, I don't know if you noticed the guy on the bench press, that was me.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
That was me, and when I get the milk, it's pure chocolate. I don't mix the white with the chocolate. I go for the pure chocolate when I get it. But I'm very proud of the facility, Mark, and everybody putting that together, and our players are very proud of it, and it is making a difference in the workout of our players and the strength and conditioning of our players, number one, and it's also helping in recruiting a lot too.
Yeah, and if you're going to be the fastest 60 minutes in football, you got to be in pretty good shape.
You got to be in pretty good shape. Thank goodness the coach doesn't have to be, but the players better be in pretty good shape.
Well, even though this is the Watson Brown Show, there are other sports at Tennessee Tech that also deserve to be in the spotlight, especially the work that these student athletes do in the community. Now let's take a look at what the women's soccer team has been doing in the community so far in the Athletes in the Community segment, brought to you by Pepsi.
Of the Tennessee Tech women's soccer team. Coach, tell us why you chose City Lake to do your community service cleanup today.
Well, actually, my family and I live down the road right here. My wife came up here one day and took my daughter back to the waterfall, and my daughter was kind of picking up trash. So I was like, well, that's, if she could do it, why can't we? And help out the Parks and Rec department, because I know economy and everybody can use a little help. And we're an outdoor sport, so it's great to be outside. And any little bit I think can help. So we just decided, hey, why don't we do this one?
And then, of course, this helps you with team building as the season's ready to start.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, the girls were into it. I mean, they loved it. I think by the amount of trash we got, the girls really got into it, and it helped, yeah. And it just helps to be around each other, not in a soccer center.
Here with senior forward Andrea Miloff from the Tennessee Tech soccer team at City Lake in Putnam County. The girls are out here helping clean up the natural area. And Andrea, tell us how this helps with team building at the beginning of the season, and you guys are getting ready to go next week.
It helps a lot with team building. Just coming out here and being all together and just doing something good for the community is always nice. We have fun, and it helps out everybody else at the same time. We make things more enjoyable for everyone else. We explore while we're doing it, and just makes for a great day for everyone.
Have you found anything interesting on the trail today, or any of your teammates found anything interesting?
Well, we found a pair of shorts. We found some stuff for bad habits. We've been having fun, and everything we find is interesting to us, whether it's a gum wrapper or it's a pair of shorts. So we just make it interesting.
All right, and as a senior, tell us a little bit about how you're going to have to step up your leadership for this upcoming season.
For us, this year is a big year. There's more seniors than we outweigh any of the other classes. So to come in, it's our last year, and we know we have to be in charge. We know we have to take control and teach the young ones what we want to do. And it's our last time around, so we really want to finish strong and make it a great year for everyone.
Coach, I know the football team does a lot in the community as well, but it's nice to see these other teams and student athletes doing a lot of things in the community.
It's all of our athletes do at Tech, and that's something that we all take pride in. And Daniel does a great job with our soccer team, and a lot of classy young ladies on that team. We just wish them the best this year. I know they're out there cheering for us. We try to get over when we can and cheer for them. At the same time, volleyball goes on also this time of year, and it's neat. I think Tech's got a great family, and we all pull for each other very hard.
And, you know, it's always good to get out into the community, but, you know, you're from here. You grew up here, so there's probably some deeper roots and a more of a want to give back to the community.
Well, I caught a few fish right where they were. I know that growing up. My granddad would take me there late in the afternoon, and we would fish even on the banks and just hang out. And so I just, when I saw that, it brought back some memories of when I was very young, even though I can't remember it, but it's been a few years. But it's neat to be back in Cookeville. It's been so many of my friends still here, so many folks that knew my parents so well and grandparents that for them to come up and talk about them means a lot to me. So it's been a lot of fun to be back here the few years that Brenda and I have been back.
We're going to take a break, but when we come back, Coach Brown will take your Twitter questions, and we'll also talk about this week's opponent, North Greenville. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Watson Brown Show. You know, I always like to ask questions, but Coach, there's also fans out there who like to ask you some questions, and they can do that via Twitter. All they have to do is send their questions in to @T2GoldenEagles, and that is the most followed Twitter account in the OVC. So we be doing some tweeting out there.
We're tweeting.
We be tweeting. All right, here's some questions that have come in. Coach, among many standout players, who was the one player who you thought shined the brightest against Hampton?
I thought Adam Urbano had a fantastic night. He had to play more than we want him to play because Bud Golden sprained his ankle in the first half, and Bud played a little bit as the game went on. He's sore today, still sore before practice even today, and Adam knew he had to step up, and I thought knowing that he had to play more and stay out there, big run, especially in the fourth quarter when somebody might grab a leg and we got to make that first down. I would probably say Adam Urbano in my personal opinion.
Coach, how much of a difference did Rick Rogers make in the first game? Will he begin to play a larger role? You know, you heard the buzz from the crowd the minute he stepped on the field, and then of course they erupted when he caught his first pass. Then there was the 52-yarder, then the touchdown. Seemed like it was just a progression. You lose Tim Benford, you know, he goes to the NFL, and now you have a Rick Rogers who comes in and replaces him. It's a nice problem to have, I guess.
At first it's neat, and congratulations to Tim for making the Dallas Cowboys. That's just so fantastic, and I'm so proud for him, and I'm sure he's ready to get that first check now and get going. But Derek has come in essence, we've got some really good young receivers, but we needed an older guy right now to get these young ones going, and I think he's a good fit for us. I hope we can help him along the way too, and he did have a factor in the game. As I say, we had 5 plays to him, and I think we called all 5 of them, and he caught 3 balls for 75 yards or something, and the big deep ball really set up one score. He caught the ball right before the half, and that might have been the biggest score of the game to score right at the end of the half there. So I think he's going to be a special player for us, and we will play him as quickly as he can learn what to do. That's going to be the big thing right now. How much more of the offense can he pick up this week, then again the next week? And my goal when we brought him in was to have him absolutely ready to roll by the time SEMO rolled around, and I think we can do that.
Coach, it's usually said that the most improvement a team will make will be from that first game to that second game. What improvement do you want to see in the Golden Eagles?
First thing's kicking game. I didn't think we were tough enough in the kicking game. Had some penalties that really hurt. Had a 50-yard return call back. The return against us, the drop that we had, that won't happen again. Zach's a very, very good catcher of the ball, but didn't think we were solid in our kicking game, really in any phase. I think we'll play better in that phase. Offense and defense, just little things, fundamentals, things that you'd like to see each player play a little better by his position that I think we can improve on, and we'll see if we get any better here in a couple of days.
Coach, you talk about the kicking game. How did your kickers do? Chad Zincini, Chris Harris, and Zach Sharp.
That part was really good. I thought our punter kicker, Chris Harris, knew kickoff. I thought he kicked off really well. I thought Chad Zincini didn't have to punt much, but the 2 punts he had, both were very good. And Zach is much improved over a year ago. His ball's getting up quicker. He's getting it off quicker. His legs stronger. I think our kicking game, and losing Nick Campbell was big, and Matt Barker too. So these 2 kids coming in and taking their places, at least in this first game, they look good.
Well, it's time now to look at Tennessee Tech's upcoming opponent. North Greenville comes to Tucker Stadium for another Thursday night showdown. Coach, tell us a little bit about North Greenville and what you expect from them. And this segment brought to you by the official Twitter account of Tennessee Tech Athletics.
Well, Mark did it to us again. I mean, we supposed to bring somebody in here we can beat, and we bring a semifinal Division II team to town. They did get beat in their opener, but it was to a nationally ranked team who they had beaten in the quarterfinals the year before. Albany State is a good team. Yeah. This is a very good football team. I told our kids in some ways I'd rather play Hampton as this bunch. Well coached, play really hard, a lot of players back. The difference in them right now is the new quarterback. They had the guy that transferred from Clemson last year, an unbelievable player. They played a freshman the other night. They did not move the ball well on offense the other night like they have, but their defense was very solid in the game. This is not one of those run out real quick and get the game over and play a lot of people. I think this game will be a 4-quarter game. We'll have to play very well.
Do you think you'll be able to play some of your reserves, some of the younger guys in this game before you go to Oregon?
I'd love to. I just don't know. Right today, I wouldn't think so. I think it's going to be a tough game, and their defense just doesn't give up a lot. You have to work for everything you get. We got 8 big plays on Hampton the other night, and big plays being over 20 yards, and it'll just be harder to get them in this game because of the style they play, and they're very disciplined, and older kids. They have a punt returner that's returned 6 punts for touchdowns. He's averaged in his career, North Greenville, 18 yards per punt return, and he's a 6-foot, 210-pound corner. So he's a really good football player. People are going to be surprised at what walks out to play us on Thursday night.
Coach, it was such a great crowd there for the home opener on Thursday night against Hampton. Another Thursday night game. Expect another big crowd. I'm sure you'd like to have another big crowd.
Love to. Thank you for coming, and come back again. And hopefully you had a great time. And if you're not getting there early for the tailgating, and the atmosphere and the pregame is fantastic, we really believe here at Tech if we get you there, we'll keep you there and bring you back again. So give us a shot if it's your first time. Come out and watch these kids play. And that's Tennessee Tech taking on North Greenville this Thursday night. Kickoff is at 7. The tailgate park opens up at 4 o'clock. You can also listen to the game on Magic 98.5, or of course read about it in the Herald Citizen the next day. That's going to do it this week for Tennessee Tech head coach Watson Brown. I'm Buddy Pearson. We'll see you next week on the Watson Brown Show.